Okay, we're on YouTube Live now. So, Mr. Gonzalez, good afternoon. How are you?
Good, Judge. How are you?
I'm good. I understand that your client wants permission to travel statewide because he does weddings, performs weddings, right?
Actually, Judge, it's beyond statewide. He pretty much travels around the country with his business. They do on-site weddings. He's been doing that for a while. We had discussed that during the plea back in February. Probation, I guess, wanted confirmation from you. So I filed a formal motion with an order and has all the dates listed on there that I was given from Mr. Esparza.
Yeah. So you think it was part of the plea?
Yes, ma'am. We didn't have the dates at the time. We just told you that he traveled for his business.
Yeah.
Work purposes were fine. And then I guess probation wanted a specific list. So we've compiled that and filed it.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm the one that did the plea because I think I had a visiting judge at that time, but.
You did. And Claudine did the plea and it was a visiting judge.
Okay. So, I think normally we have a written request for that.
It should be. I actually emailed a lady a copy with the dates.
Yeah, you're right.
I just sent it to you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're right. I looked it up just a few minutes ago and I couldn't sign it because it was not in the right format. So Aleda just did that, I think. I'm going to check right now.
Okay. It's been e-filed and then emailed.
Okay.
How you been, Judge?
Let's see.
And Mr. Esparza is present in case you have any questions about his travels.
Yeah, there's one place in Kentucky, but it looks like everything else is Texas.
There's actually one trip to Africa, September or October. We don't have the specific dates yet.
Okay.
There's one there for Nevada as well.
And this was does he mostly fly to those places or does he drive?
I'll let him answer that, Judge.
I fly to a lot of places in the events, even here in Texas, going from city to city, even if it's from Dallas to Houston or Dallas to back here. In most of those cases, I do end up flying. Every now and then I do take a drive. If it's maybe just to Houston and back or one quick day back and forth.
Yeah.
So
Corey is still conferring?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So that was a DWI first, Mr. Gonzalez?
I believe so, Judge. I have to look at my notes.
Okay, Corey's back.
Okay, Corey, on this 638795, I just wanted to verify with you because I didn't take that plea. I don't think I did. Well, today is the 14th. Okay. So I'm going to assign this order allowing Mr. Esparza to travel to perform his weddings, which is part of his profession. But I wanted to make sure if he's going to be driving, whether that is important.
And it was Renee Esparza, right?
Renee Esparza, that's right.
And I emailed you a copy also, Corey.
Okay. So, is there anything that I'm going to grant this, Corey? Is there anything I should add to this?
Judge, he looks good. Yeah, I do not see any issues with you signing the order.
No. Okay. Well, all right. So I don't need to do any ETG UAs on his return or anything like that.
Double check that one more time before I stick it through my
All
mouth.
right.
No, Judge, he's good to go. He has ignition interlock on his vehicle, so it won't let him drive if he does drink.
Okay.
So he should be fine. And there's no violations or anything that I just looked up.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't use all the lines that were prepared for me. Let me see if I can do that. Because this is going to be pretty small.
Yes. Yeah. That's good. Mm-mm.
Okay, next.
Mhm.
Well, that did come up very good, but I think you can read it, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so I did sign it, Mr. Gonzalez. It's not the best copy of the order, but I think it is readable, so I'm going to, Alita should have a copy of it momentarily to send to you, okay?
Appreciate it, Judge. Do you have any other
Thank you.
questions or any other information you need?
Yes, have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you too, Judge. Good seeing you.
Take care. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm still looking for some plea paperwork, but I'm going to come back and do the ones that we have in the meantime.
Yes.
All right. All right. So let me see what I have here.
Judge, are we able to discuss the bond really quickly so I can take the claim down to satellite?
Mr. King, did you evaluate what bond you all might approve if I were to set one?
Yes, Your Honor. We are fine with the PR bond with
Okay.
the no contact order. And I sent you an email with the names. So you have the two names. One is the child, so I don't want to say the
Right.
child's name on YouTube.
Okay, so that's on Adobe Sign?
I
'Cause
don't have it on Adobe Sign.
Because I haven't gotten it yet.
I just sent you the email with the names.
All right, let me go to, I'm thinking that I do have some plea paperwork ready to go.
Judge
I do
Marla
have-
Garcia's may be ready.
Let's see, Ashley Guerrero, I think I printed that out. Where is that? And so is Mr. Bunk here? Okay. We can do that one.
Present.
So, Your Honor, for the bond, does she need to prepare an order or what did you?
Yes.
Okay.
No. All we need to do is someone has to prepare the PR bond paperwork for me. I'll
Okay.
sign it. And we will set, I don't know, $500 bond. So Deputy Butler seems to be the only one that is around that knows what to do on that, right, Deputy Butler?
Working on it now, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, see, how we cannot do without him now. Okay,
Agreed.
so he'll be sending that to me momentarily and I'll sign it and then we'll be done with that, okay?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Now, I know, let's see, Mr. Cobbs is here on Marla Rose Garcia.
And we're ready when the court is, Judge.
All right. I don't believe that I have gotten that. I got Ashley Guerrero. When I looked up Ashley Guerrero, all I found was the discovery. Remember that was before lunch? And you were going to send it to me, Mr. King, right?
For Marla.
No, Ashley Guerrero.
Ashley Guerrero.
That's-
Yes, I think it is. Aleda already did it. You signed it, and it's been completed.
Okay, because I didn't print it out. I didn't
Okay.
get it back so I could print it out. Okay, so because I just like to get the waivers printed on those. And Marla Rose Garcia, Mr. Cobbs is here. I don't have that, and I do have Mark Vega, don't I? Not finding it. You have Mark Vega, Mr. King?
I'm. Here, Vega.
Shows you signed it,
That-
Judge.
Yes, Vega's completed.
Okay, that's why I don't have it.
The
Okay.
right, and then the for 659-815 Garcia, that's still with the defendant. Defendant hasn't signed yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right, so that's why all I can really do right now is Ashley Guerrero, right? Guerrero.
And then I also forwarded you again the other one that Aleda had sent that for Ashley Guerrero, right?
Yeah, so I'm gonna look again. I was just there, but let me see if I can pull up. I just want the waiver. Yeah, see, because I don't have anything waiting for me, so I guess, Aleda, you must have sent that to me in Outlook, right?
Yes.
Ashley Guerrero has been signed.
Right, I just found it on Outlook,
Mhm.
so I'm going to just go ahead and print what I need. Let me do that. Okay. So Ashley Guerrero, are you here? I'm not on Zoom yet. Let me go back. Okay. Can you please unmute yourself, Miss Guerrero?
Yes, I'm
So
here.
she's filling out the paperwork now. Miss Garcia is.
Okay, I'm looking for Miss Guerrero. Where is she?
Ashley,
Guerrero?
there you go. There you go.
All right. So I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and be sworn.
Okay,
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. This is cause number 6673331, the state of Texas versus Ashley Sunflower Guerrero. Counselors, please make your announcements.
Jeff King on behalf of the state.
Charles Buck from Ms. Guerrero.
So are you Ashley Sunflower Guerrero?
Yes.
You're going to see on the screen a document entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights. You reviewed this with your attorney, right? Do you recognize that? Okay.
Yes.
So from that, you can see that you're being charged with the offense of obstruction of a highway/roadway. So that is an amendment of the information. Is that correct, Mr. King?
That is correct, Your Honor. We are moving to dismiss count 1 and proceeding solely on count 2.
Any objections?
No objections.
All right, that's approved. So then the offense is obstruction of a highway/roadway. And you will see checked at the bottom, it's a Class B misdemeanor. So the range of punishment for that offense is up to 180 days in Bexar County Jail and or a fine up to $2,000. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
We're going to go to page 2 where it shows defendant's signature. Did you sign that, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you understand that by signing that document, you're waiving your right to a jury trial, your right to remain silent, as well as all those other rights listed in that document?
Yes.
If you have an agreement with the state and I follow it, but then tonight or tomorrow you change your mind, you want to take back your plea, you would need my permission to be able to do that, but I do not have to give that permission. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If I assess a harsher punishment than what you have agreed to, then you can take back your plea and nothing you've said or signed for today's hearing can be used against you. Also, if you enter a plea of no contest to this offense, I can still find you guilty of this offense. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Bunk, have you had an opportunity to discuss the charge with Ms. Guerrero?
Yes, Your Honor.
In your opinion, does she have a factual as well as a rational understanding of the charge?
He does.
Has she been able to assist you in her defense?
He has.
I approve the waiver. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, there is. We are asking for 3 months of deferred adjudication, a $100 fine plus court cost, victim impact panel, DWI education, 12 hours of community service, and ignition interlock for 1/2 the term.
Mr. Bunk, is that your understanding of the agreement?
It is, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Guerrero, to the offense of obstruction of a highway or roadway as a Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead, ma'am?
Okay.
You have no contest on your waiver. Is that
Yes,
what you want to
yes.
plead? Is anybody forcing you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Yes.
I will accept your plea. I am not making any findings of guilt. I'll place you on deferred adjudication for a period of 3 months. Assess a $100 fine plus court costs. You shall complete the victim impact panel, the DW education course, and do 12 hours community service, and put on your vehicle ignition interlock for 1/2 your term of probation. I'm going to give you one more option. I'll give you 6 hours credit on your community service requirement if you are or if you become fully vaccinated for COVID. You just need to show proof to the probation department and you'll get that 6-hour credit, okay?
Okay.
Is there anything further from defense?
No, Judge.
Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Guerrero, I just want to impress on you, this is a wonderful agreement that your lawyer has gotten you, because if you do everything that you're required to do, you're not going to have a conviction. That's pretty important. But if for some reason you find that you get really busy and you don't have time to report, or you start, slacking off on some of these requirements, if the state files a motion and I find sufficient reason to follow it, then I can give you that conviction, revoke your community supervision, assess up to 180 days in Bear County Jail, and you would have a very limited right of appeal. So it's just a real shame if you didn't take advantage of this great opportunity to have a good future. So I want to wish you the best of luck. You did fill out a personal data sheet, is that right?
Yes.
right. I don't have a copy of that. That's a really important document, but if you didn't fill it out, I need to ask you still, do you swear that everything you put on that personal data sheet will be the truth and complete as far as you know?
Yes.
Okay, because if for some reason something comes up and they need to get a hold of you and that is not kept current, it could have some pretty negative consequences. We don't want you to be in that position. Okay. All right. Okay. At this time, if there's nothing further, I did follow your agreement, ma'am. That means you do not have a right to appeal. But I want to wish you the best of luck. I hope that everything works out real well for you and you completely successfully finish this and can go on with your life. Okay.
Okay.
Judge, will you go to a breakout room with your probation?
Yeah. That's what I was going to tell her. So you're going to see on your screen a prompt that says, please join breakout room such and such. Mr. Richardson's going to join you there. And Mr. Bunk, if you don't mind going there too, it won't take very long. He's going to give you important information on how to proceed and what to expect. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Best of luck to you, ma'am. Thank you. This hearing's adjourned. Okay. At this time, we're going to proceed with Mr. Vega. Mark Vega, will you please raise your right hand, sir? You need to unmute yourself first. Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You may lower your hand. This is cause number 660261, the state of Texas versus Mark Anthony Vega. Counselors, please make your announcements.
Jeff King on behalf of the state.
Angela Blake, attorney for Mr. Vega.
So are you Mark Anthony Vega?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're going to see on the screen a document entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights. And I want you to look at it and see if you recognize it as a document you reviewed with your attorney. You recognize that? Okay. Well, as you see, that document says that you are charged with the offense of driving while intoxicated as a first offense, which is
1-210.
That's the clerk's calling me back. I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn that off. Okay, and that's to do with the bond earlier, so I'll call him back in a second. So you see that the range of punishment for that, and this is, we're proceeding on the information as it was originally presented. Is that right, Mr. King?
We are waiving the enhancement, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's approved. So, Mr. Vega, for the offense of DWI as a first offense as a Class B misdemeanor, the range of punishment is a little bit different. It's from a minimum of 72 hours up to 180 days in Bear County Jail and or a fine up to $2,000. You see that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so you understand that that potentially could be the kind of sentence you could get if you were not having this agreement, potential agreement, right? Okay, so we're going to go to page 2 where it says defendant's signature. And I want you to look at it and tell me if you're the one that signed that, even if it was electronically signed.
Yes, I did.
You understand that by signing that document, you're waiving your right to a jury trial, your right to remain silent, as well as those other rights listed in that document.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have an agreement with the state and I follow it, but later on tonight, after this is all done, you change your mind, you want to take back your plea, you would need my permission to do that, but I do not have to give that permission. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If I assess a harsher punishment than what you have agreed to, then you can take back your plea and nothing you've said or signed for today's hearing can be used against you. Also, you need to know that even if you enter a plea of no contest, I can still find you guilty of this offense. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, Ms. Blake, have you had an opportunity to discuss the charge with Mr. Vega?
Yes, Your Honor.
In your opinion, does he have a factual as well as a rational understanding of the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he been able to assist you in his defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
I approve the waiver. Is there an agreement?
Yes, there is, Your Honor. We have agreed to 12 months of deferred adjudication, 1, 2, a $600 fine with 1/2 suspended, court cost, 48 hours, that's 48 hours of community service, DWI education, the victim impact panel, an ATP evaluation, ignition interlock for 1/2 the term, and $60 restitution to Texas DPS.
Ms. Blake, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Vega, to the offense of driving while intoxicated as a first offense as a Class B misdemeanor, how do you plead, sir?
No contest.
Is anybody forcing you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
I accept your plea. I'm not making any findings of guilt. I place you on deferred adjudication for a period of 12 months. I'm assessing a $600 fine plus court costs. However, $300 of that is probated. You are to complete 48 hours community service, DWI education course, victim impact panel, the ATP evaluation, and on your vehicle, place the ignition interlock for 1/2 your term of probation and pay a $60 restitution fee to the Department of Public Safety. I'm also going to give you 24 hours credit on the community supervision requirement if you are or become fully vaccinated for COVID. That is purely an option. It's not mandatory, but it would be a help to you in getting your community service hours completed. Is there anything further from defense?
Your Honor, I would just ask that in setting supervisory fees, you take into account that he did qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Also, I sent him the places that he could take the classes, and he's has informed me that he has already taken both classes and will be able to provide the certificates to his probation officer.
Okay, we'll give him credit for that as soon as he gives us proof that he did that, right? Okay. All right, so anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and I will reduce the supervisory fee to the minimum. Okay. So what's important to know about this, Mr. Vega, is that deferred adjudication can be a good result for you if you keep all your promises. The court expects you to follow 100% all the terms and conditions imposed on you by the probation that you're entering. Because if for some reason, and life happens, sometimes things get in the way. But if you don't follow the terms and conditions correctly, then if the state files a motion and I find sufficient reason to follow it, I can give you that conviction, revoke your community supervision, assess up to 180 days in Bexar County Jail, and you would have a very limited right of appeal. So the downside is not very good, right? So I see people who get deferred and sometimes they just don't succeed. And it's a real shame because you're obviously young and you want to have a good future. So the other thing I do need to tell you, since I followed your agreement, that means you do not have a right to appeal. But is there anything further from defense or the state?
Nothing from defense, Your Honor.
Nothing
Okay.
from state.
All right. So you did fill out a personal data sheet, Mr. Vega? I didn't look at it, but do you swear that everything on there is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, 12 months is a really pretty short time, but when you're actually on probation for 12 months, it feels like forever. So, be diligent and do good. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
At this time, this hearing is adjourned, and I'm going to ask you to join Mr. Richardson, and he's going to give you important information on what to do and what to expect, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And we're still not having great communication. We're still having problems because of this pandemic. So, if you call and can't get through to your supervising officer, leave a text message or send an email, okay?
Yep.
That's in your best interest. Okay. Good luck to you. This
Thank you.
hearing's adjourned. Thank you. And you should be getting that prompt, so you'll be going to a breakout room any second. Thank you, Ms. Blake.
Thanks, Judge.
Have a good afternoon.
Thanks, you too.
All right, so Mr. Cobbs,
Hi, Judge.
let me check and see if I got that paperwork and we can proceed on yours, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Shows that she did sign the plea packet, but she still needs to sign the amendment of the information.
Marla, did you hear that?
Yeah, I found the plea packet, so,
Yes, I'm working on the other one right now.
okay, great.
Elated, did you get the emails?
I did, and it should be in the judge's Adobe.
Awesome sauce.
Okay, I just finished the second one as well.
I love instant messenger, except when it covers up what I'm trying to read. Okay. So, Marla Rose Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon. Are you ready or you need a little more time?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to ask you please to start your video. Okay, will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. This is cause number 659815, the state of Texas versus Marla Rose Garcia. Counselors, please make your announcements.
Jeff King on behalf of the state.
Adam Cobbs, attorney for Marla Garcia.
So are you Marla Rose Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been charged with the offense of obstruction of a highway/roadway. So, Mr. King, is this an amendment?
Yes, Your Honor. We are moving to amend the information, add count 2, obstruction of a highway/roadway, and then subsequently moving to dismiss count 1, driving while intoxicated.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, that's approved. So, Ms. Garcia, you've been charged with the offense, and you are looking at a document entitled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights. You recognize that as having reviewed that with Mr. Combs, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you see, it tells you that you're charged with the offense of obstruction of a highway/roadway. That's listed as a Class B misdemeanor. The range of punishment for that is up to 180 days in Barrow County Jail and or a fine up to $2,000. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to go to page 2 where it shows defendant's signature. Did you sign that, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by signing that document, you're waiving your right to a jury trial, your right to remain silent, as well as 14 other rights listed in that document? You understand that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have an agreement with the state and I follow it, then later on tonight or tomorrow, you have a change of heart and you think, oh, I made a mistake. I want to take back my plea. In order to do that, you would need my permission, but I do not have to give that permission. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If I assess a harsher punishment than what you have agreed to, then you can take back your plea and nothing you said or signed for today's hearing can be used against you. Also, Mr. Cobbs, have you had an opportunity to discuss the charge with Ms. Garcia?
I have, Your Honor.
In your opinion, does she have a factual as well as a rational understanding of the charge?
She does, Your Honor.
Has she been able to assist you in her defense?
Yes.
I approve the waiver. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. We have agreed to 14, that's 14 months of deferred adjudication, a $500 fine, 500, plus court cost, DWI education, the victim impact panel, a TAP evaluation, ignition interlock for 1/2 the term, and 50 hours of community service. It's 50. Also, the amendment paperwork was brought to my attention that defense counsel would like to reserve the right to apply for early termination, and we are unopposed. So we would move to remove that check mark from that box and allow defense counsel and the defendant to apply for early termination.
All right. I see where it is. I'm just going to scratch it out and initial it and make sure it's like that in the file, okay? It is on the record. So it's been corrected, Mr. Cobbs, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. King.
All right. So, Ms. Garcia, to the offense of obstruction of a highway/roadway, how do you plead, ma'am?
Guilty.
Is anybody forcing you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you doing this of your own free will?
Yes, ma'am.
I accept your plea. I am not making any findings of guilt. I'll place you on deferred adjudication for a period of 14 months. I'm assessing a $500 fine plus court costs. You are to complete the DWI education course, the victim impact panel, the TAP evaluation, and install on your vehicle ignition interlock for 1/2 of your term of probation, and complete 50 hours of community service. However, I'm going to give you 24 hours credit on your community service requirement if you are or become fully vaccinated for COVID. That is purely an option. It's not a requirement, but it would help you in completing your community service hours requirement. I think it is public service, quite frankly. Okay, is there anything further, Mr. Cobbs?
Judge, just one permission to travel. I think Miss Garcia is traveling to Florida at the end of the month. So in about 2 weeks, she is traveling with her family to Florida for, I understand it's a vacation. And I am asking for that to be granted at this time, I guess. I could go through the process of filing a motion, but figured I'd just bring it up to the court right now.
Yeah, well, I will need to have something in writing, but I will tell you now that I will approve it, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
But I do like to have an ETG UA on her return within 24 hours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'll advise her of that.
Okay. All right. So is there, other than that, is there anything else, Mr. Combs?
No, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Garcia, I have followed your agreement, ma'am. That means you do not have a right to appeal, but I really hope that you will take this seriously. You know, a conviction can affect your career, it can affect your employment, it can affect your relationships. And so this is a wonderful opportunity to work to overcome that potential, because if you keep all your promises, you will not have a conviction. That's pretty important. So you did fill out a personal data sheet, didn't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. Well, do you swear that everything you put in there is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's really important because sometimes, well, as you know, we all know, things happen that we never anticipate. So, you know, we want to be able to communicate important changes or consequences to you should anything like that arise. So that's pretty important. Okay. And again, it's really important for you to protect yourself. If you try to reach probation and you can't get through because the line's busy, if you follow up with a text message or an email, that will be documentation of your attempts, right? So that way you won't have any surprises. Okay, at this time we're adjourning this hearing. I want to wish you the best of luck, ma'am. I'm going to ask you to join Mr. Richardson in a breakout room. And if Mr. Combs, if you have a moment, that would be great if you would join them. It's Mr. Richardson's just going to give you important information on how to proceed and what to expect, okay? I want you to know that probation is there to help you though, okay? So, I mean, you know, we're all working under difficult circumstances. Sometimes people, the nicest people can be rude sometimes, so don't take it personally, okay?
Got it.
Okay. All right. Best of luck to you. Thank you. This hearing's adjourned.
If I may, Judge, in the courtroom, I have Mr. Ares Mendez's magistrate warning ready for you to administer at your leisure.
All right. Thank you.
Step forward.
And okay, so sir, I don't think it's necessary, but I'm going to do it just to be on the safe side. Will you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so be God?
Yes.
Okay, you may lower your hand. So before me, Judge Saldaña, I'm magistrating you on the 14th day of March, 2022 at 3:00 in the afternoon. And you appeared, at which time I'm informing you of the charge of deadly conduct, which is a misdemeanor that was filed against you. And that there is a warrant. There was a warrant filed either with that or subsequent to that. But you need to know that you have a right to remain silent. You have a right to retain counsel. You have a right to request the appointment of counsel if you cannot afford to get your own attorney. That you will be allowed a reasonable time and opportunity to consult counsel. You have a right to have an attorney present during an interview with peace officers. You have a right to terminate an interview at any point of that interview. You're not required to make any statement, but if you make any statement, it may be used against you at trial and in court. You have a right to an examining trial. Are you a U.S. citizen, sir?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about accessing consulate. So and I believe you already have an attorney, that is your attorney standing to your left, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you already knew that the procedure for asking for attorney was completing an application if you could not afford to hire one. And that the clerk would have helped you fill out that application. But that is an affidavit and it would need to be signed. And that means that it's like a sworn statement that you would have to qualify for court-appointed counsel. I have no idea what the status is of that right now. I do see you have an attorney. But you already have been contacted. You have been actually benefiting from the assistance of counsel by bringing you here this afternoon. So I'm assuming that if I ask you if you want the court to appoint an attorney for you, that you probably already answered that, right? And that answer would have been?
I am court appointed, Your Honor.
Okay, so it would have been yes. Okay, good. Well, we're doing some things right, aren't we? We got you an attorney right away. Okay. Okay, I think that is it. And I'm setting your bond at $500. It is a PR bond. So at this time, I'm not going to keep you anymore because you need to get moving so you can be processed this afternoon. Best of luck to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
Your Honor, we'll need a reset date.
That's probably a good idea. I think earlier, did I reset it, ma'am?
Yes,
Did I
Your
give
Honor.
you
We reset
a
it to 4/21.
Oh,
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll be taking him down to Satellite, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Butler. Appreciate it. Does it seem like we might be done?
I think so, Judge.
I think so.
I'm afraid to ask.
This is earlier than what we have been.
we are